So today we're going to be taking a look at the Skylanders games that have the worst review scores on Metacritic. I thought this would be an interesting video to do since the scores for Skylander games don't really get talked about much. There's 8 mainline games and many mixed opinions on them, but that's why I thought it would be interesting to see which one has the lowest review score. We also could play a little guessing game as we go through them as well. I'm going to give a rough score for each game and see if I get it right before checking on Metacritic. You guys can too whilst watching, just put your guesses in the comments. No cheating though. Just before we begin, I just want to say if you're a fan and enjoy some of the games more than others, that's cool. These games were a part of my childhood, but I don't think every one of them is perfect. I own like 6 copies of Superchargers, and that's one of the most disliked games in the franchise. Anyways, let's begin with SSA. Spyro's Adventure was the first of many games in the franchise. Made by Toys for Bob and published by Activision at the time. Most people started playing with SSA. My prediction for SSA is 82. Okay, so somehow it's at 78. Looking at the reviewers, they just said that the figures hindered the score because of the cost. I think we're going to get a lot of that by the reviewers not liking the games because of the cost of the figures. Skylanders Giants was the second game to be released and was developed in less than a year by the same developer, Toys for Bob, reusing assets and reducing the roster. Although reusing assets in a time crunch, this game was basically SSA but better in many ways. I think the score on Metacritic has to be an 81 if SSA was scored a 78. Giants was given an 80 Metacritic score. One of the reviewers was not a fan of the Toys to Life aspect to it, but they knew what they was getting into. Anyway, Skylanders Giants was given an 80 Metacritic. Third installment, SWAT Force, was released in 2013 by a brand new developer, Vicarious Visions. This game was like a bit of a fresh take on the franchise. SWAT Force was developed in a new engine with all new graphics and an amazing art style. It also added a jump button finally. Also had a great story. Predictions for the score is a 90. Got an 83, which is a great score nonetheless. Looks like the Wii U version nearly hit 90. Skylanders Trap Team is next, and what a great game it is. It's for Bob's third game in the franchise after taking a year off. Still had a very short development time due to having different ideas but didn't stick, and ultimately ending up having the version of what we got today. Small development time meaning a lot of glitches. This game is still great, adding new gameplay features like a jump attack finally. You can also play as your favorite villains like Chaos. Finally, had a great fun story. Say due to the glitches, this one is lower than SWAT Force, so around 85. Okay, well, seems like reviewers had some sort of Mr. Life fatigue around this time, so it got like a 78. Still a great score. Superchargers is next, my favorite game, and will always be my favorite game. Superchargers was developed by Vicarious Visions and was released in 2015. And this time the gimmick was cars. Not many people like this gimmick due to them being mandatory to play. That is the only reason I could think of why this game could get a lower score. But every other aspect of Superchargers is amazing. Great art style, amazing graphics, and probably still the best looking in the franchise. And the best story of them all. I personally give this game like a 93. So it got an 81, one of the highest scores, tying with SWAT Force. So the last game in the franchise is Imaginators, my least favorite of them all. Developed by Toys for Bob again. Gimmick, bad story. In my eyes, Imaginators was hindered by Skylanders Academy. They wanted this game to be like a tying game to that. I do like the gameplay, and I would say this game has the best combat of them all. Senseis are really fun. I also like the way how they made the Superchargers racing paid levels free. Fun gameplay and gimmick, just poor story and everything else. I say this game has a lower score than Trap Team with like a 77. Somehow I was wrong. Imaginators has a higher score than SSA and Trap Team, which is surprising to me. Okay, so that is all of the mainline Skylanders Metacritic review scores. Unfortunately, it looks like SSA and Trap Team have the lowest score out of them all with a 78. Funny enough though, Skylanders Lost Islands, a mobile game, has a higher score than both of them, which is kind of shocking. Anyways, let me know what you think down below. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all for watching, and definitely subscribe if you're new around here. I'll see you all in my next video.